Back to another album review. Today's review is on Vis Pacem, Bellum by Seether. This is the 8th studio album by Seether, and their most recent album at the time of me making this video. The title is actually Latin for "If you want peace, prepare for war." Quite appropriate if you ask me. In 2019, Seether got a new lead guitarist by the name of Corey Lowry, and he is still with the band at the time of me making this video. The album was self-produced since Sean Morgan produced it by himself. The album was recorded and mixed by Matt Hyde between December of 2019 and January of 2020 at Blackbird Studio and Dark Horse Recording. Corey Lowry was credited as an engineer. Ted Jensen mastered the album at Sterling Sound. When it comes to recording, I think Seether picked a good time to record this album because 2 months after recording is finished, the whole COVID shitstorm has started. The album was released on August 28th, 2020 on Fantasy Records, and was manufactured and distributed by Concord. The deluxe version was released on July 1st, 2022. Anyway, Seether mostly took inspiration from both Deftones and A Perfect Circle, even though they took influence from other bands when recording their previous album. The album is mainly centered around hard rock, but some songs venture into alternative metal and alternative rock. That being said, let's talk about the songs. This album starts with Dead and Done. The song demonstrates that this entire album is heavier than Seether's previous work. On top of that, it sounds like they were inspired by A Perfect Circle when recording it. It's really awesome and really getting started. Up next is Bruised and Bloodied, which was released as a single on July 20th, 2020. It's another song with the Perfect Circle influence, judging by the way it sounds. A music video was made, and there's going to be a link in the description. It's also one of my favorite songs from the album. Next up is Wasteland, which was released as a single on November 24th, 2020. This is one of the more atmospheric sounding songs on the album, and it sounds like they were inspired by Deftones when recording it. I will include a link to the music video in the description. It's also my favorite song from the album. After that is Dangerous, which was released as a single on June 24th, 2020. The song is more in the realm of alternative metal, and has some influence from A Perfect Circle. A music video was made, and there's going to be a link in the description. It's also one of the few Seether videos that's fully animated. Despite the fact the video has a lot of blood and gore, and it's not age restricted as far as I know. It's also one of the best music videos from Seether. Next song is Liar. The song sounds like it has inspiration from Deftones. It also sounds very atmospheric. It's followed up by Can't Go Wrong. The song takes a heavy turn and sounds like there's influence from A Perfect Circle. We follow up with Buried in the Sand. It's obvious that Seether took influence from Deftones when making this song, judging by how it sounds. Next song is Let It Go. No, this is not a cover of any other songs because the lyrics are completely different. That being said, Seether were inspired by Deftones when making it. Next up is Failure. The song takes a turn towards alternative rock and hard rock while simultaneously taking inspiration from Deftones. Up next is Beg. This is one of the heavier songs on the album, and it sounds like there's inspiration from Perfect Circle. On top of that, Sean Morgan says the word motherfucker multiple times throughout the song. There is a music video that was made, and I'll include a link in the description. After that is Drift Away. This is among the softer sounding songs on the album. It has clear inspiration from A Perfect Circle. Next song is Pride Before the Fall. Go back to a heavier sound with this song. On top of that, Seether took inspiration from A Perfect Circle when making it. This album ends with Written in Stone. The song switches gears by having a softer sound and has influence from A Perfect Circle. Personally, I think the song ends the album perfectly. One thing I should mention is that the Walmart version of this album has live versions of Remedy and Let You Down. As you can see, my copy does not have those songs, but it has something even better, a second disc with additional songs. Now, the first 4 songs are from the Wasteland EP. Back when I was ordering the Seether albums, I had the option of buying that EP, but I decided not to because all the songs are on this version of the album. Anyways, the first song on disc 2 is What Would You Do? I can tell this song has influence from Deftones. The music video was made, and I'll include a link in the description. After that is Will It Ever End? This is another song that was inspired by Deftones, judging by the way it sounds. It followed up with Feast or Famine. This is yet another song containing influence from Deftones. Next song is an alternate version of Wasteland. To be specific, it's an acoustic version, meaning that's in the genre of acoustic rock. The next 5 songs were previously unreleased prior to the release of the deluxe version. The first of which is Leech. Judging by the way it sounds, it takes clear inspiration from A Perfect Circle. The song itself is very heavy. It's followed up by Delivery Me. The song sounds like it has influence from Deftones. Next song is On My Way. And you can tell that Seether were inspired by Deftones when making it. Next up is Leave Me Be. This is yet another alternative rock song, but with some inspiration from Deftones. This album ends with Cross the Line. It sounds like Seether took inspiration from both A Perfect Circle and Deftones when recording this song. According to my research, this album peaked at number 37 on the Billboard 200. When it comes to what the critics said about it, they mostly responded positively to it. As for my opinion, I think this is a fantastic album. Since Seether took inspiration from both Deftones and A Perfect Circle, it ultimately became heavier than Seether's previous work at the time of me making this video. Corey Lowery being Seether's new lead guitarist really adds to the heaviness of the songs. On top of that, I think that this might be the heaviest album by Seether. It's similar to how Bush and Deftones released their heaviest albums in 2020. Granted, Bush's next album is probably going to be heavier than The Kingdom, but that's a story for another day. I strongly recommend this album, and it's best if you get the deluxe version like I did. It should be easy to find the deluxe version. With that out of the way, I have officially reviewed every studio album by Seether, with the exception of Disclaimer. However, Seether have 2 other albums, and the next 2 reviews will focus on those. Now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to Vis Pacem, Bellum? If so, what are your thoughts on it? What's your favorite song from it? Do you think Corey Lowery is a good choice for being Seether's lead guitarist? What other bands do you think Seether should take influence from? What are you expecting from Seether going forward? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.